Hi everyone and welcome. Let's wait a couple of moments to allow people to log on. Okay, let's get cracking. Welcome everyone to today's session. My name is Carol Jinman and I'm the marketing manager for Northern Europe at Nosto. I'm gonna give you a brief intro to the session before I hand over to our esteemed trio of fantastic speakers. I'll take you through the customer journey and let you know how you can use technology to really put the customer at the center of your business and operations. But let's start with a little bit of housekeeping. We would love to hear from you during the webinar, so you can use the questions screen in the control panel and ask us questions throughout the session. However, we won't answer anything during the actual session. We will take all the Q&A at the end, but shoot them over to us and we'll organize that Q&A. And we'll also shoot over some answers to those via email if we should run out of time. So let's begin by setting the scene. Why are we here and what is customer centricity? Well, if we look at consumer behavior and the development over the past couple of years, we can see that people's demands on products, services, and brands as a whole have increased significantly. Not only should they be like really fast, they should be convenience and the service level should be at a real level. They should also correlate to consumers' own values and ideals. A lot of it is down to technology and the fast emergence of tools that disrupt industries and change the way consumers think. Once a consumer's way of thinking about how things should be done in one sector, this sort of emanates and transfers to other sectors as well, and consumers expect that shift to happen in those industries too. Just take, for instance, music and Spotify with the Spotify Discover Weekly function, recommending new songs, new tracks that it thinks that you should like. This thing is expected now not only in music but also in video and Netflix and going into retail. Another reason like why technology is becoming really important is that consumers are inundated by impressions, exposed to marketing, sound, and visual cues 24/7. We're constantly on our cell phones, basically. So in terms of retail, it's becoming increasingly important to help the customer sift through this clutter of noise and make sense of the world and to pick out what's really relevant for them. Which is why we come to customer centricity. So what is that? Being client or customer centric is an approach to doing business that focuses on creating a positive experience for the customer. Basically places the customer's wants and needs at the core of business strategy. Businesses that are client centric ensure that the customer is at the center of the business philosophy, its operations, and its ideas. And these kind of companies, they develop products and services around the anticipated customer and consumer needs, basically. Amazon and Zappos are great examples of companies that are firmly client-centric, and Amazon itself is essentially it's saying that it's customer obsessed, working in customer obsession. So to exemplify just this entire problem is we have 4 customer profiles: Heikki, Anna, Mike, and Nina from different parts of the world with different interests. Somebody likes ice hockey, somebody likes extreme sports. Some are brand driven and some love discounts. Some are first time visitors and some are returning customers. If these all come to the same store and get the same treatment, do you guys think that the result, or they will all buy the products presented on the first page? It will all come out and convert? Probably not, right? Nina from Berlin would probably need some hiking boots, whereas Heikki would love skates. They should be, they're all unique and should be treated uniquely. And that's basically why we're here. We last year created a guide called Acing the Customer Experience. And that's when we went through key elements of the buying journey from search to delivery. And today we're focusing on the first part of this journey. We're focusing on getting people to the site, making sure the site experience is relevant to them, and then start building trust. So with that said, let's introduce our speakers. We'll take you through the entire journey. We've got Sarah, Claudia, and Jacob.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Sarah. I work as a partner manager for Italy and Nordics at Trustpilot. Trustpilot is a leading independent review platform. We're free and open to everyone. We have more than 57 million reviews of over 270,000 businesses. And Trustpilot basically gives people a place to share and discover reviews of businesses. And on the other side of things, we give businesses tools to turn customer feedback into results. Our mission is basically to bring consumers and companies together to create ever-improving experiences for everyone. Trustpilot was founded in Denmark almost 12 years ago, so we're a pretty old company in the business, and we try to help everyone from SMBs to make them compete effectively in such a competitive market, and also enterprise clients to help them, being top of their game. Examples of clients in the Nordics, we have Boots, for example, Cedion, Synsam, PostNord, or Hifab-klubben. I'll pass it over to you, Claudia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Claudia. I look after sales and partnerships for Klevu in the UK. So Klevu is an intelligent site search and navigation solution which leverages machine learning and natural language processing to optimize search results. So at the core of Klevu, we connect the most relevant products to customers for retailers of all sizes. So we've been in the market now for around 5 years. In this time, we've powered over 3,000 e-commerce sites across 40 countries and in 25 different languages. Just an interesting stat that I pulled out recently was in 2018, in the Nordics alone, Klevu was responsible for 125 million euros of search-led conversions, which is pretty cool. And in terms of our offices, we have bases in Sweden, in Finland, in UK, Atlanta, and also India. And now I'll pass over to Jacob from Nosto.
Hey guys. My name is Jacob. I work as a customer success manager here at Nosto, responsible for clients in Northern Europe. To start off with, I'm very excited to be here today talking about Nosto and personalization. So Nosto is an AI-powered personalization platform that enables e-commerce professionals to deliver a personalized shopping experience throughout the entire customer journey, at every touch point, across every device. We empower retailers to build, launch, and optimize one-to-one omni-channel marketing campaigns. So in short, we make it easy for retailers to offer their customers a relevant and personal shopping experience. We cater towards forward-thinking retailers that would like to stay ahead of the curve by using AI and machine learning. So in the Nordics, we work with brands such as Helly Hansen, Royal Design, the Baby Shop Group, Jysk, and Cali Boots, just to mention a few.
Cool. Well, great. So great to have you guys on board and on this panel. So let's go on a customer journey. We're going to start off by talking about how we get to the site, and that's going to be Sarah taking you through that before we move over to the search element and what you actually do on the site, which is also completed by Jacob in the personalization element. And we're going to round off by talking about how reviews can emphasize the trust delivered by the personalization and the search methods.
So let's start with the Google search. If you have a business, you probably know that most of our customers will start looking for their product options or supplier options just by starting with Google. So the first thing that they come across is actually AdWords campaigns related to those keywords. Might it be brand keywords or generic keywords? That depends, right? If you have a business, you know that setting up those campaigns actually is rather challenging. You have to look after the keywords that you want to bet on, and an ROI is also difficult to obtain. What Google has started looking into is actually starting integrating the power of reviews and trust into AdWords campaigns as well. So if you see it in the example here in High Five Klubben before and after integrating the reviews, as you can see, it's just an extension that you can put there for your AdWords campaigns to show across, well, all of them. And what it does, it's basically creating a sort of psychological trigger for the customer to be drawn to pick that AdWords campaigns above the competitors. The effect that we've seen, and that also Google sees, you will see those data in their blog, is that Google seller ratings will improve CTRs by circa 11%, which in the long run will also decrease your CPC, basically. The criteria to get these Google seller ratings are not that difficult. You need to have and rely on a Google review partner to collect your reviews, have 100 verified reviews in 12 months for the country you're running the campaign for. And in fact, well, they're pretty visible and have been tested all along. Moving on to the organic results, of course, those come up just after the AdWords campaigns result, right? Adding, in this case, rich snippets. So we're talking about the same psychological trigger in this case, but not on a paid ad, but on an organic entry. Well, the effect is exactly the same. So it's all sort of drawing the customer to pick you above other competitors. And we've seen this doing by Amazon all the time with product, with landing pages. They just start working with reviews to conquer the first entries on the Google search. So you can do this also with Trustpilot and collecting reviews via Trustpilot, like our customer here, Lens Direct case, has done by achieving plus 45% click-through rates. These will allow you, so using rich snippets on both landing pages and on product pages, just by following the experience Amazon has set, will allow you to conquer the first entries of at least the branded searches. And so you will see an improvement into traffic being qualified and converted into your website. But another of those tools that are being increasingly used besides the standard Google search is actually Google Shopping. Also here, it's extremely relevant to integrate reviews in the process, because here you must imagine, like, so many marketplaces and so many e-shops are just powering the catalog into these searches. So the customer sometimes is at a loss as to what product to choose, what supplier to choose, where to buy. So giving the customer the possibility to look through reviews, both service reviews, so the green stars that you see into the example, and product reviews, so the golden stars that you see into the example, gives them the power to choose with safety. So they know that they're basically going into a website that has been reviewed positively across many different experiences, and they're also picking a product that has, again, positive reviews. So other people have seen this being relevant for them. So what we're doing here is basically qualifying the traffic at the entry, also bringing more traffic to the site. So finally, we have the customer on the site. How do we keep it there? Passing it over to you, Claudia.
Thanks, Sarah. So yeah, with big players like Amazon making improvements to their search functions on an almost weekly basis, we at Klevu are of the opinion that when a user reaches your site, they should be greeted with a seamless and a personalized search experience. Amazon have really set a precedent with site search, which is encouraging a lot of other retailers to follow suit. More and more retailers are promoting a very search-centric approach, just as Lekma have in the example you can see. And this is especially relevant when the store has an extensive catalogue spanning many categories, many products and SKUs. And most of the time, when customers do come onto a website, they know exactly what they want to find, and their journey often begins with a site search. a Forrester research study found that 43% of site visitors immediately go to the search box. So site search is one of the ways you can make sure that the customer who tried so hard to acquire doesn't leave the site without having found the products they're trying to find. And I want to explore exactly what the role of site search is in a customer-centric experience and how does this really impact the user experience. So firstly, the search box is one of the only places on site where a customer can express their desires. Similar to in a bricks and mortar store, you would have shopping assistants present to guide you to a product if need be. But in an online realm, all that communication is lost. And we really have to substitute this with a robust and intelligent search function that can really understand your customers' needs. And traditionally, search would really fall down when it comes to things like typos and errors, regional or country-specific language variants, or any other type of complex queries. And by using natural language processing, Klevu can handle these types of queries much more effectively and still connect customers to relevant products. And secondly, the modern day shopper is somewhat impatient. In a recent Baymard Institute mobile usability study, they found that on-site search was found to be the preferred product finding strategy of the test subjects, as it was perceived to be a lot faster than a category-led journey in finding those products. This really highlights that speed is an important factor for customers in finding relevant products, and retailers should really be optimizing the journey as much as possible. And then lastly, just in terms of having a mobile-centric approach, with e-commerce revenues generated via smartphones now overtaking revenues generated on desktop, this really is making search integral to the e-commerce experience. And category-based navigation can sometimes be quite slow and lumbering, having to sift through many different categories and filters. And when used on mobile devices, customers really want to access what they're trying to find in as few steps as possible. Mobile customers often tend to head straight to the search bar as they perceive this as being a logical step in finding products in a short amount of time. And the benefits for retailers in what site search can do for sales and conversions, it really does represent a competitive advantage in today's market. We find that users who complete a search are around 3 to 5 times more likely to convert than users that don't complete a search. And this can actually be up to double on mobile too. So it really does represent an opportunity to expose the search bar and to drive users through search as well. And Amazon have really recognized this and grasped the concept of site search. And this is even visible if you just go onto their website, you can see how large their search bar is and how prominent it is. Yet only 15% of companies actually have dedicated resources in optimizing the e-commerce site search experience. So we could say that the potential here is still relatively untapped and something that your business can start seeing quick wins from straight away. And here are just some other metrics that we measure around site search as well from a recent case study with one of our clients. So things around increasing the number of sessions with search, decreasing the number of site exits, because if you can't find what you're trying to find, you're most likely going to bounce off and go off to a competitor site and try your luck there. And then thirdly, increasing the time spent on site after search, and then the more obvious metrics around conversion rate and revenue as well. And I just wanted to touch on some quick wins around site search. One of those is the introduction of a JavaScript overlay. Most retailers using a third-party solution will be using some sort of fast predictive JavaScript search interface. And what I'm referring to here is just the outline blue search dropdown. So a search overlay can really help speed up the search process considerably, serving different types of results. So not purely products, but blog content, guides, category listings, and all of this is without having to wait for a search results page to load. And this can have a really positive impact on the overall user experience and on even more so on mobile as well. Lexac are using one of our native options, and this really does help them deliver a superior search customer experience, because a user, as soon as they even begin typing with just one letter, they're already greeted with machine learned relevant products, categories, and auto suggestions. So this is just really minimal effort from the customer side in presenting relevant content and relevant products as well. And now I will pass over to Jacob, who will really deep dive in understanding who the customer is that we've got on site now.
Thank you, Claudia. That was some great content, by the way. So moving forward, looking at how retailers can leverage AI and machine learning to create a personal shopping experience on site. I'm going to walk through a couple of customer journeys and a couple of examples of our customers using Nosto. But first, let's just briefly touch upon some of the data points we at Nosto look at. So step one in creating a customer-centric shopping experience is understanding who the customer is. So with the help of Nosto's highly intelligent e-commerce engine, analyzing both transactional and behavioral data, creating segments and unique customer profiles, we have a lot of information to work with. We know, for example, where in the customer funnel a specific visitor or customer are located. Is this a new visitor, or is it one of your most loyal customers returning to the store? We also know the geolocation. Is this somebody located in the UK or in Japan? And also if they have a certain brand or category affinity. Based on this information, individuals should all be interacted with and treated in a different way. It's pretty straightforward when you think about it, really. If a customer prefers Nike, the content and products on site should in some extent show Nike and not Adidas. If you're a global multi-brand fashion retailer with a big catalog, you should currently push winter jackets in Northern Europe and maybe Vans sneakers in Los Angeles. Sometimes it also makes more sense to focus on the customer funnel. Using Nosto's AI-based lifecycle segmentation, one example would be for first-time visitors, showing USPs like free shipping and returns, and also what's hot and trending in the store, versus, let's say, one of your most loyal customers where you want to push content tailored towards that specific individual, offering exclusive benefits and communicating with a more personal tone of voice. But let's move forward and look at some of the customer examples. Here we have a first-time visitor located in my home city, Stockholm, Sweden, entering the front page of a fashion retailer called Jonells. Looking at the top content, you clearly see that they cater towards both men, women, and children. On the front page, they are using Nosto's on-site product recommendations, pushing a geolocation-based live feed exposing what's hot and trending in the store for people located in Stockholm. As you see, light winter jackets are popular. It's still pretty cold here, and most of them are from a brand called Parajumpers, very popular also at the moment. So the goal here is to show relevant products to push this individual forward in the discovery, offering a clear call to action to enter the store. With the live feed, you build social proof, and with the support of the geolocation, you stay relevant, even for first-time visitors. Here we have a store. No, sorry guys, this is the same store, but with a different customer. It's a returning visitor, and now it's a male with a strong affinity towards Eton shirts. With the help of Nosto, they now display one-on-one personal product recommendations with Eton shirts. So working with retargeting for returning visitors, making sure the products they push are personalized for each individual. And as you see, Jonells also changed the top content to be tailored towards men. I think this is a great example of a truly personalized and customer-centric front page. E-commerce professionals using Nosto's product recommendations experience in average 15% increase in conversion rate. Great results backing up how important it is to have a customer-centric approach. Another example of creating a dynamic homepage would be a furniture retailer called Sleepo. Also, it's a joint customer between Nosto, Trustpilot, and Klevu. On the left side is the normal homepage, and on the right, a specific treatment triggered when people we know are interested in buying a bed returns to the site. I mean, buying a bed is a pretty big decision and something that usually takes some time, resulting in multiple visits to the store. And once we have a clear buying intent, turning a visitor into a prospect, but no conversion, we change everything from top banners, exposing a guide for people in the market for a new bed. We highlight rating and reviews to build trust, also show free shipping, and of course, relevant product recommendations, including the bed of choice. It's a pretty sweet example if you ask me. Moving forward in the funnel from the front page, we have a customer landing on a category page for jeans on a mobile device. So this is a returning customer who we know are looking at purchase history and looking at behavioral data, is a big fan of a brand called Tiger of Sweden. And the intention of the visit seemed to be buying a new pair of jeans. With the help of Nosto's personal product recommendations, we enable an easy and a quick discovery on a page containing more than 200 products, showcasing relevant Tiger of Sweden jeans at the top of the category, offering a truly personalized and relevant experience. So several studies and also our own e-commerce fashion report states that mobile shoppers spend less time on site and have lower conversion rates. But as Claudia said, revenue through a mobile device is increasing. Retailers also have a limited amount of screen real estate to work with, making a quick and personal discovery a key element. Moving forward to the last tip from me, which is to focus on a seamless experience where the customer is served with relevant content, making the discovery process as smooth as possible. So presenting relevant products from the same category, like Helly Hansen does in this example, enabling the customer to move from product page to product page, always one click away from the add to cart button. A pro tip would always be to include pricing filters to ensure the same average order value or higher, as in the example above, where we show products with a price range from 90% to 150% of the item viewed. You can also work with margin filters here if you like. On desktop, we see MQ, a Swedish fashion retailer, using Nosto's new dynamic bundles. The feature is Amazon-like bundle feature. They use it to inspire shoppers by showcasing appealing recommendations elements and to drive increase in average order value by highlighting matching items. This is everything from my side today. I think we're going back to Claudia now on an example of how Nosto and Klevu could work together.
Yeah, so this is just an example from one of our joint clients, Toolstop, and using both our respective technologies, Klevu and Nosto. So within the search overlay, as you can see, a retailer can display banner ads. So these work well around promotional periods, maybe to highlight a promotion code, free delivery, or a redirect to a new collection, for example. So Toolstop is displaying these banners around specific search queries that they've specified. So by clicking on this banner, it will redirect you to the customer to a top 40s bestsellers page. And this top 40 page is powered by Nosto. So if you look at DeWalt top 40, it will show you the top 40 products for the specific user within that category based on your purchases, browsing, search, email activity. It's essentially a fully personalized product recommendations page. So Klevu's banner ads, it gives a really good platform to put pages like this within the search, and the two really do bode well together because if you're searching for DeWalt, the customer can easily click through and go through to this fully personalized page, which is pretty cool. And I think Sarah's going to just talk about some of the overlaps that Trustpilot has with Klavu as well next.
Yeah, thank you, Claudia. Actually, yeah, guys, as you have seen, Klevu Nosto and Trustpilot were trying to sort of build a seamless UX experience for everybody that is visiting your shop. So reviews are also a good part of this when it comes to search. So the Klevu search and recommendations and Nosto recommendation. Reviews are a good way to ensure that the customer is buying something that feels confident about. So when we look, for example, at the Sleepo example, so a shared customer between Trustpilot and Klevu, you can see that the moment the clients start typing a few letters in the search bar, not only is presented with the relevant products for that search, but those products are enriched through product reviews. In this case, basically, we're telling the customer that not only we're interested in what he's looking for, so we're presenting relevant products for that type of search, but we're also telling him, look, we're presenting to you products that have been reviewed positively, so other customers have had a good experience about these products. So in a way, the customer is taken by the hand to the product page with more security about what he's going to buy and actually being able to convert more effectively. But that's not only it. If we go to, for example, the Nosto example with the ABC Lexica, basically the overlay between Trustpilot and Nosto works more or less the same. We're seeing the Trustpilot stars appearing in the recommendation slider. So in this case, we're again pairing up relevance and trust for the customer that is visiting your website. So we've seen anyway Amazon using this technique across all of its platforms. So Amazon, of course, knows this works because, again, it's not only suggesting the customer some relevant suggestions for what the customer has browsed about or searched for or bought before, but it's also telling the customer, look, this product fits you and it's good for you because other customers have bought it and have reviewed it positively. To wrap it all up, if we just move to the cart page finally, here reviews are sort of a test whether the customer centricity strategy has finally worked, right? Because we finally brought the customer to the potential customer to the cart page. Now we want him to buy. So the last thing that we can do here is actually to tell the customer, look, you can trust me. So A/B testing done on these cart pages by SiteGainer on our behalf have seen conversion increases by as much as 17% and uplifts on cart value as much as 31%, which is huge for normal e-shops. That is because reviews are usually one of the first sources that people start checking when actually deciding what to buy online. And it is important to communicate to your buyer or potential buyer that they will receive the product that they're buying, and if the product that they're buying won't get to them for whatever reason, they can trust you to take care of their problems. But not only that, I mean, reviews are a possibility for the businesses to tap into customers' opinion, learning from these opinions and improve the service and the product selection for them. So collecting and analyzing these reviews is a powerful tool to offer always a better service, converting more and receiving more positive feedback, and on again. So it's like creating a virtuous cycle around the business. To sum it all up, reviews are then relevant to get customers to your website and convert them into actual customers.
Ooh.
And I think we're ready for some takeaways.
Yeah, we are. Thank you, Sarah, and thanks all of you. I think we're reaching the end of this presentation, so I just want to sum it up a little bit because we do have some really brilliant key takeaways from these presentations. I'm actually going to start with you, Sarah, and ask, getting to the site, what would you say is the most important thing to think about before you're actually, or before a consumer or customer actually gets to the store?
Yeah, thank you, Claudia. I think the most important thing is making sure to integrate your review strategy into your SEM strategy. So this will allow your customers to find you and to see you in the Google process search.
Coolio. Claudia, when you are on the site though, like how do you apply search? What's the main thing for all retailers to remember?
Yeah, so I think there's a few key takeaways here. One being driving search usage. That we know that once a user completes a search, they convert better. So that would be one thing. And then also leveraging machine learning and natural language processing to really understand your customer and connect them to relevant products. I think that the fundamental point is really understanding the intent of the customer, because if they trust the relevancy of the products they see, they're bound to come back for more. And I think this is something that it definitely ties in with Nosto as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, isn't it? Creating this relevance is something you spoke a lot about, Jacob. Yeah, what would you say is the key takeaway regarding personalization?
No, I definitely agree with Claudia on that one. I mean, understanding who the customer is and customer intention is a key factor to deliver a customer-centric shopping experience. I mean, with AI and machine learning, you can tailor the content and the products presented to each individual, kind of guaranteeing and making sure you as an e-commerce professional stay relevant.
Well, yeah, I completely agree. So I just want to tie this all together and loop back with Sarah regarding the reviews on the actual site. What is your key takeaway from that?
Yeah, reviews again are fundamental to ensure trust on the website and reliability, and this applies along the whole customer journey, and in the end it will drive better conversion for the e-store.
That's pretty much it, isn't it? Well, I think we've got some pretty good takeaways from all of this, and as you can see, there is plenty to take away from all of the panelists and all of them individually, but we can probably all agree on that together we grow stronger, making all of these elements work well together. Basically the results a retailer can see are amplified once combined. You can see the Trustpilot stars in the Klevu search field. You can see the example from Klevu and Nosto, what Claudia spoke about with retailer Toolstop, and then the Trustpilot reviews reinforcing the relevance of the Nosto recommendations. So stronger together would be the key word, wouldn't it?
That's it.
That is it.
Yeah.
So, let's move into a Q&A and see if we have any fun questions coming up from all of our listeners. Okay, so we can see that we have one thing coming up about the reviews. We're going to start with Sarah.
Yep.
What if I get negative reviews? How do you do that?
Well, negative reviews are always some sort of a pain point for companies, right? But the way we see it here, Trustpilot, is that negative reviews are an opportunity more than a challenge. Both if we're talking about company reviews and product reviews, right? So when we're talking about companies reviews or service reviews, whatever you want to call it, a negative review highlights a challenge for a customer or a problem that a customer has gotten. And having it there first gives you an insight on the service, where the service might be improved. But secondly, responding promptly to that negative reviews and trying to modify the experience of the customer in a better experience gives actually the chance to get the loyalty of the customer once and for all, because you finally solved the problem, you got your customer the refund or the replacement that the customer was asking for, and the customer knows that at that point can trust you forever and ever. If we're talking about product reviews, here we're entering a little bit of a different world. So that depends whether you're manufacturing the product or you're a marketplace, so you're getting the product somewhere else. But a negative review can be a sort of a sign for you either to re-engineer the product you're servicing or to ask your supplier to change the feature of that product because it's not selling well for you or whatever. or elsewhere take the decision of take that out of your catalog. So that's super important to also act on your business.
It's actually like a way to develop your business further, isn't it? You've taken taken the feedback from the people you're trying to reach out to. Definitely
Correct.
Putting them sort of at the center of attention, like you really like do care about what they think.
Exactly. That's giving them control also, yes.
I see something else here, like how can I collect reviews? What's the easiest way of
So the review collection process can be different and can be tailored according to what your business is and what your needs are. In Trustpilot, we've got several ways to do that. It can be done either manually or more and more automatically. We usually try to get the process as automatic as possible so that you integrate it in your sort of flow of transactional email to your customers and try and get the best response rate as possible by asking everybody to leave a review. Another way of doing that is via API if you are somewhat capable of using them. In that case, you can basically sort of integrate the invitation process within your CRM and hit the customer at the right moment to ask for a review. So automation here is the key.
Automation and actually relying on the tech. And I'm just going to take a moment to apologize. We seem to have had some sound issues a little bit earlier. Got a feedback here muting the mic, so I hope that wasn't too
okay.
Had some issues with that. Okay, so we have another question here. It's about data. What kind of metrics should merchants be tracking to improve search? That would be a Claudia question, right?
Yeah, perfect. So I'd say looking at which keywords drive a zero result is really important. A zero result creates quite a disconnect in the shopper's online journey, and it could potentially lead to the shopper abandoning their site and trying that keyword on another site. So I'd really suggest optimizing these and creating synonyms for these keywords. And secondly, also monitoring what the most popular search terms are and what customers are frequently searching for. And alongside this, I think it's a good idea to apply some boostings, some hero SKUs around these keywords, just to make sure that products retailers really want to expose around these keywords are getting that prominence in the search results too.
Okay, what do you mean by boosting? Is that like adding extra paid for it, or?
So it means just like giving it a higher boosting score. So it's like overriding that machine learning element and applying your own logic with that. So rather than just being completely reliant on the automation, giving it a bit of input and saying, actually, I want this and this product to be boosted and appear higher in the results.
Gotcha. So work together, your brain and the AI brain, sort of, not relying.
Exactly. Yeah, so implementing like some of your own business logic alongside the automation, I find puts like merchants in a really good position for a solid optimization.
Gotcha, and that's a smart tactic, isn't it? Just you can't rely on one thing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Because if there's like a certain product that you've got loads of stock of and you want to push, you would need to input that into the machine learning. Like machine learning is amazing, but it's not that clever to know like little things like that. So having input is definitely important.
It can't read your mind completely just yet, can it? Thankfully.
Yeah, not quite yet.
And then I think we've got another data question that's going to work on personalization and working with segmentation. So what data points are most relevant for creating different segments from your experience, Jake?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, actually. It really comes down to what you're trying to achieve. So the Nosto AI-based life cycle segments, looking at the customer funnel, might be a good start, something good to start with. They're available out of the box. I mean, so you can get started quickly targeting people in different stages of the shopping journey. For example, if your goal is to create more returning customers, getting first-time buyers to convert again, the segment first-time customers makes a lot of sense to focus on. Other quick wins would be maybe to look at top brands or top categories, creating custom segments for these. as well as maybe people with a high affinity towards discounted items. I mean, the possibilities are endless here. I believe it's important to kind of figure out what customer groups are important to you, and align with the challenges you're trying to tackle or the opportunities you're trying to seize.
Okay, so when you talk about like life cycle, you mean like where in the buying journey we are. So differentiating between the first customer or first touch, or if you're a returning customer. That's what you mean by the life cycle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So from first-time visitors to returning visitors, prospects, all the way down to loyal customers.
Super cool. Where do we have more questions coming in? We have one, Claudia. This is looking into the future. Well, where is the future of search heading? That's a big one for you.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, one area I'd say we're seeing more developments in the search space is leveraging more personalization into the search results themselves. So Klevu's plan is to build a deeper level of personalization into the core algorithm, meaning that customers will see a different set of personalized search results. So the premise is that we'll recognize a user's different affinities to brands, color, size, and like rank the products accordingly in the search results. So it'll be different to what I see, to what you see, Carol, and like other people. So that one-to-one level of personalization within search is a really exciting development for us. And then I'd also touch on just like voice search with things like Amazon Alexa, Siri, Google Home. People are becoming much more like more voice activation, and we're definitely seeing this being reflected in how people search as well. So being more sort of conversational in the way they search and the way they type, and expecting more from e-commerce sites, just as they would type in queries into Google, for example. So we're seeing that becoming more mainstream as well, and alongside that, more implementations of voice search on site too.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. Do you, like, from your personal experience, I don't know if you have a Google Home or an Alexa, but do you find that that works right now? Do you think that they understand what you mean right at this moment when you say hi? Or that?
I have a Google Home and an Alexa, and one can understand me quite well and the other one can't. So I still think there's a bit of work to be done, like in sort of the length of queries they can comprehend and like the different accents and stuff. But it's definitely quite a smart technology, and like you can even book like train tickets through them now. But yeah, it's impressive, and I think it's only going to get better moving forward.
It really does put, like, again, the customer or you at the center. You can just basically shout out from wherever you are in your house and just ask them to do something for you. And it is forward thinking. It helps you.
Exactly.
So if you want to adopt and be at the front of the pack. And they should look
it's
at
customer-centric, but also
right?
a little bit scary at the same time, how much they know.
Exactly. Yeah, true. That's absolutely true. But it's about convenience and creating convenience for customers. I mean, that's what helps retailers stay at the front of the pack.
Yeah.
We have one other thing coming in here about, I'm guessing this is a J question. How many products do you need to have in your catalog to be able to sort of build the AI and machine learning thing to be able to personalize properly? Like, what is it useful if you only have a few products, or how many products do you need to be able to have in your catalog?
Yeah, that's also a good question. I mean, I would say a baseline would be a couple of hundred, but personalization goes beyond just exposing the right products. If you have a smaller product portfolio, you can work with changing the content on site for specific segments. You can use personalized emails to target, for example, abandoned shopping carts and create one-to-one personal newsletters. And I believe creating a seamless experience, serving the visitor a truly customer-centric shopping experience would still bring value to a retailer with a small catalog. But just as a baseline, maybe a couple of hundred of products.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Like, you need to have a baseline to like work with the data on. But otherwise, you can always fall back on the bigger picture. Obviously, like the algorithm has its own learning pattern, right?
Yeah, I think there's multiple aspects within creating a personalized shopping experience that you can work with.
Super. Okay, and here is a final question coming in now, unless we have anything else coming on. This is a Trustpilot Sarah question. How can I get Google seller ratings?
Yeah, Google seller ratings is actually one of those hot topics, all-time hot topics. It's Google's criteria, right? So one thing that you actually have to make sure is relying on a Google review partner, which Trustpilot is amongst a few others in the world, and start collecting verified reviews, meaning that the verification of these reviews goes through email and Google criteria, right? So the way this works is that you have to meet some requirements, which usually is around 100 verified reviews for a 12-month period in the country you're showing your ads for. So let's say we're in Denmark and we want to show Google seller rating for the AdWords campaign I'm running in Denmark, then I'm going to have to collect at least 100 verified reviews during the 12 months for Danish consumers, with an average of 3.5 and above. We're talking about stars here. And then it's Google actually that takes the charge of implementing this extension to your to your AdWords campaigns. Yes, that's it.
Okay, cool, thank you. So let's see if we have any more questions coming in, or if we should wind up. I think we might just wrap this up. And then if anyone has any more questions, please feel free to answer. We'll send out the recording of this webinar after the session, probably this afternoon or tomorrow. You can access it on demand whenever you like. And obviously, if you have any questions to any of our speakers, or to me for that matter, just reply to the email and shoot them over. Coolio, I want to thank you all for joining. Thanks to Claudia, Sarah, and Jake. And
thank you all.
And hope you've gotten some good information out of this. Hope to see you guys soon. Thanks.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.